If you're a Photoshop user, you're going to love this. Adobe just gave the Hue Saturation Adjustment layer a major upgrade in Photoshop 26.6. Let's jump in and see what's new and how it can totally transform your workflow. The new Hue Saturation tool has the same functionality that we had before, but now it's visually different and easier to use. To get to this new feature, you can either create a new Hue Saturation adjustment in the Layers panel, and also you can create a Hue Saturation in the Adjustments panel under Single Adjustments. And where we're going to start off is with the contextual taskbar. And there's something that is called Adjust Colors. And of course, if you don't see your contextual taskbar, you can come up to your Windows menu and make sure that contextual taskbar is checked. When you click on Adjust Colors, you will see the 6 dominant colors in the image. The swatch on the far left controls all the colors at the same time. In your Layers panel, you'll notice that you have a Hue and Saturation adjustment layer with a mask. So I'm going to click on this first color right here, this first circle, and this says cyan. So we're going to change the background a little bit just to see how this works. So if I change the hue, so you can see the background changing. And luckily, the cyan or this hue is not affecting anything else like her skin or anything. I could have also hovered over the name hue, and you can see the double arrows, and you can change your hue that way also. In that circle that I just changed for the cyan, you can see the before and after. That little circle has 2 different colors in it. You can see on the upper right, you can adjust properties up there too, but if you're working with the contextual taskbar, you might as well work with it here, but it's really going to depend on what you like to do in your workflow. Again, I can change my saturation and my lightness, and say if I click on this yellow, if I double click, and the color picker displays, and I have my eyedropper, so I can click in here and get a color at a certain location. It might be a little bit different than the yellow that I clicked on in the circle. So it chose that color. I can come in here, click on my circle, and change the lightness of it, or saturation, or even the hue if I want to. And if you notice the circles that I did change the color in, there's a white dot below each of the circles. That means the color was changed there. And also you can reset the color for each circle separately. And I have other circles here that are closer to her skin tone and her hair. Let's click on this color right here. Looks like a brown, and just play with this a little bit, and you can see what it's affecting. That gives you an idea. It affects all the colors in the image that are similar. Let's click on the red, and I could change the hue of the red, but I can see it's affecting her face. And of course, you can use the layer mask to mask out over her face. Let's make this red a little bit brighter. And again, I can use this eyedropper right here and select the color in the image to make the adjustment that way also. So if I select it, I'm still on red. If I select it, I have the eyedropper. I can click anywhere, just try different reds. See, it made the red lighter, and it's actually two-toned. And I can change it, say the saturation, add in a little bit more reds into the image. In this example, we're going to use Adjust Colors again. I'm going to click on it, and this time I'm going to change the color of that background. It's yellow. So I'll click on it, and I put the hue. You see it's changing. If I go too far, you can see it really affects her face, like over on the green side, but I can change it. Something like that, which isn't too bad as far as changing the color of her skin. Can adjust the lightness. I kind of like to go more orange, something like that. And you can play with the saturation. So I'm going to reset this. And as I said before, when you use the Adjust Color on the contextual taskbar, you will get the prominent colors in the image. And of course, you can refresh them. Again, if I change the background a little bit, I can mess with the reds just a little bit, not too much, because it's affecting your skin. But this is just to show you that I can come over here and reset all the prominent colors at once. But now let's create a hue and saturation adjustment layer over here in the Layers panel. There it is. And notice at the top of the hue and saturation properties, it says default. So whereas the Adjust Colors in the contextual taskbar show you the prominent colors in the image, creating a hue and saturation will show you the default colors, which are the primary colors, red, green, blue with CMYK colors. And with this drop down, you can actually choose to display the prominent colors if you like in this case, but by default, this is what it displays when you create the hue and saturation adjustment layer, the layers panel. So if I click on the yellow again, this time I can use the select a color range, click on this eyedropper right here, selects that color, and you can see the before and after right here on this color range slider. I'm going to reset that so you can see a difference. And click on the red. The top bar is the before and the bottom bar is the after. So if you change your colors, like if I change the hue a little bit, you can see the top and the bottom colors changing in the slider, the before and the after. So I'm going to reset these properties here back to the way it was originally. And let's say I want to easily change the color of her dress. So I'm going to use the quick selection tool. I'm going to select her dress only. Then I'm going to add a hue and saturation adjustment layer. And now I can change the hue. And you can see it's changing the color of her dress, and just the color of her dress, not her skin tone. So that's one way you can do that. So now I can do something like create a new hue and saturation adjustment layer, click on the yellow and take that saturation all the way down. It kind of looks like it's on a gray background now, but let's take it a little bit further. So let's start a new example and create our hue and saturation adjustment. And we can click on one of these colors here and use our eyedropper. And let's click on this color here, the purple, and change the hue slider. And it's getting more and more purple, almost brown there, getting bluer, light green. So we targeted that color. Let's click on the green. And in this one, especially when I click on the green and change the hue, this slider down here, this says before and after, the top being before and the bottom after. You can see that the bottom slider right in the middle of those diagonals is getting more yellow. And now it's red. See, in between the two diagonals right here. So the top is the before and the bottom is the after. So in that hue selector, the colors that will completely change are found between the two vertical lines, and the colors that will have a smooth fall off, if not completely change, are between the vertical line and the triangles on either side. So between these triangles here, there's the smooth fall off. So there was a green, we could change it to a bluish. And we can take the lightness down. It's got some green and some black in it. So just having a little fun with it. And let's click on this color over here, the cyan. I'm going to click on our eyedropper, click on this car. And we can really get this going here. This color can go from green to blue, purple, red, yellow, green again. And let's make it this color here, kind of like a cyan. But again, you can adjust the color in here to change how it looks also. And it may help you to eliminate any other places where the color was splashing off the buildings or anything. And so you see for these three cars, you can see the dots under the circles for the particular color. Those were changed, and you can see that the before and after color in the circle for the particular color it started out to be. There's the before, and there's the after. That's the new hue saturation update in Photoshop 26.6. What do you think? Are you excited to try it out? Let me know in the comments. And as always, if you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more Photoshop tips. Remember, it's never too late to learn. Thanks for watching.